go!
Everybody, welcome to Teaching Crypto. We got a big Voyager update today, and Bitcoin bounces back big time after a rough day yesterday, but it bounced back better than ever. Please hit that like, that subscribe, bell notification. Super chats in the store are available. MrFOMO, we finally got some leaked Voyager news. It wasn't from Paul Hage administration, but at least it's something here, and it gives us a little insight as to what's happening. I still have a ton of questions here, but we're going to share with our audience. Basically, I'll read it. The total value of all of Voyager's claims as described above are not known at this time, but this is believed to be greater than $130 million and include, but are not necessarily limited to, the loss in the value from the APA transaction compared to the toggle plan and damages from the delay in obtaining the confirmation of the plan, including professional administrative fees and other fees incurred. Now, here's the big sentence. The precise amounts will be ascertained at the time of trial. So we have the 400 million already that we were holding back, and it looks like from here we were asking for another 130 million. That's well over 500 million in dispute, but the key word there is trial, and that most likely means, unless there was a separate agreement based on the old numbers, that mediation did not work, and now we're headed to trial. So in one way, you got a little bit of good news that Voyager is asking for a lot of money from FTX. It's not just FTX trying to get the money from Voyager, but also time-wise, this is kind of really depressing because this kind of throws everything back till 2025. Why don't you explain why?
Well, a trial, they haven't even set a date yet. And so the important thing to remember is that once they set that date will probably be well away from where we are right now, and probably well into a bear market by the time it concludes. And so really frustrating to know that they couldn't get it resolved. But the silver lining on this is that it appears that they have enough evidence to move forward and say that they owe us more than what we've reserved on the side. And there's no chance. What Voyager is saying is that there's no chance that we're going to give them any money. We're going to go to court and fight this, and we're going to make sure that we not only get the money that was set aside, but we get more money for them, sort of blowing smoke and telling us that they were going to purchase Voyager when they really weren't financially stable enough to do that.
Yeah, every 20 million is about 1% recovery. You want to keep that in mind so you can do the math. It's a significant amount of recovery if it works out. The problem is
it would be over 28%, because you have the 22% that's in reserve, and then this additional, I guess, 6%. But you'd probably looking at somewhere around 28 to 30% when all is said and done.
And that doesn't include the money that's being held back or 3AC. But to be honest with you, the money that's being held back is being eaten away. And so that I don't know how much is that going to be left. We'll see what happens. But definitely communication again, for this to leak without an email. And I would hope that the email would come as soon as today, because that's where Paul Hage has failed, is communication.
And I don't see anything on the court docket that matches this either. And so the court docket, as far as, you can get that in our description below, but the court docket is what he is supposed to be using as a communication tool. And I haven't seen anything that communicates anything like this. I may have missed something. Somebody can let me know in the comments where to check. But as far as I know, I haven't seen this come across the court document.
Every time they update the website, they're supposed to send an email. So hopefully in the next 24 hours, we will see an update, and maybe there is a court date and we will find out. And that'll give us a better idea of what the actual timeline is. Hopefully the court date is in 2024, not 2025. And so, you're probably, there's two thoughts here on the bull run, and no one knows exactly, but you're either thinking, May of 24, which would be really, really early. Some people think that. I don't. Or, basically November of 2025 would be the end of the bull run. That would kind of match last time. So, the May of 2024 Some people think that this is an expedited bull run and the rug is going to be pulled before people know it. But I don't think that's going to be the case. There's also May of 2025. So those are the kind of the 3 dates you want to
My skepticism puts me more closer to the people who think that we're going to be rugged by the market earlier than rather than later. But I hope to be wrong in that. I am going to play the market in a way that, like, if the ETF for ETH hits, I'm going to play the market to where I'm selling things off when I know news like that is coming up. So there's going to be a little bit different strategy through this market rather than just hold all the way.
Speaking of ETH, and I'm going to share with you guys this is actually the yearly chart. So you see ETH, which was laughed at as a stable coin for several months here, has made a gigantic boom. And you might say, is it too late to get on the ETH train? Well, hopefully over the summer you were watching us when we were saying 15, 1600. Man, I remember doing a short saying, man, it's a good time to buy ETH because ETH is really undervalued and it's stably going to rise. Look at this move here as we're trying to get to 2800 this week. However, it's all about perspective, right? It's not what you buy, but when you buy. And so if I look at the all-time chart, I'm not buying at a horrible time. Now, again, my price prediction for ETH, take it for what it's worth, entertainment purposes only, I expect a 4K ETH before the ETF. That's number one. Number two, in this cycle, worst case, I expect a 5K ETH. And my optimistic is closer to 10K, right? I could see people taking profits before 10K because that's a psychological number. But that's where I kind of see ETH going here. And so if you get it today, it's not the worst time to buy. Obviously, getting it at 15 or 1600 back in the summer was more ideal, right? Or even just a month ago when we said, hey, this might be the last time to really get amazing value on ETH, we were looking at 22 to 2300, right? So we've gone up significantly from there. But if we do get a retrace, like yesterday, we had that brief retrace, ETH barely moved because of the CPI numbers, right? And so you want to look for those. And like you said, I think May leading into the late May ETF deadline could be a sell event, and then I do expect us to rally big time in the late summer into the fall, though.
Yeah, I think the same thing, and I'm not sure that I'm thinking about a $10,000 ETH, but I will be pleasantly surprised if it gets there. But I think there will be others that outperform ETH, particularly Sol. You know, some of the ones that we've already talked about, Polygon. However, if you're going to trade on the swaps, if you're going to be on the decentralized exchanges, you're going to need ETH, at least on some of those exchanges, to be able to manage to purchase the tokens you want. And so you're looking to buy ETH at the best possible times anyway, because you want to get the best bang for your buck. And then when it shoots up like this, compared to other tokens, you want to use that ETH to pick up those other tokens. And so, you know, ETH is one of those ones that sort of should always be on your radar, and not necessarily purchasing now, but waiting for a little bit of a lull so that you can fill your bag with more ETH so that you can get on those dexes.
And did you mention Solana, MrFOMO? Well, you remember just a week ago when the network went down and people were freaking out, and at 94, people were saying, "Oh, maybe we can get it at 80 or 75." I was thinking 75 would have been a pipe dream, and it definitely was. Solana is now making a run. It just hit 116, and you know, that's a quick jump. Remember my price prediction by towards the end of March 200. It might get there before that. I'm being dead serious. My 200, and you are like, whoa, and you kind of almost jump back into your seat. This thing's going to easily hit 200 and just financial entertainment purposes only. Let me make sure I get that out. But it's not too late, I don't think. And yesterday you saw a brief. We went back to 110 very briefly. Kind of, I think this one, no way it does not hit 200 before the Bitcoin halving there in April, towards the end of April. But I really like this in the next 4 to 5 weeks to keep pushing, right? And we talked about 200. Man, if you got it over the summer at 20, when we first brought this up as a, you know, bull run, remember we did the show talking about what you want to have in the next 18 months. Solana was at the top of the list. And, you know, it looks like within the next 4 to 5 weeks. If you bought then, you would have 10x. So no one can complain about that. But not too late here if you want to, you know, do you want to chase a pump? I think this pump has just started, right? And we keep saying this. It's not what you buy, it's when you buy. And so here, I think there's still an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Cloud Casino telling us about a staking opportunity with Sol.
Wow.
Sol Flare is paying 7.5%. It pays out every 2 days, so that's good information to have from Cloud Casino. But yeah, Solana is kind of a no-brainer, and Solana is one of those ones. It's sort of becoming like I think on some of these exchanges you're going to need Solana to function. I'm not sure, but there are some projects that are popping up on Solana.
Well, you mentioned
So,
Jupiter, right? Just a
right.
week ago. Yeah.
And
And that's
so
getting buzz all over the internet right now for the crypto world.
Solana, not only because it's a good project by itself, but people are building on Solana, and those projects are good on top of that. And so as this continues to grow and as those other projects continue to grow, you're going to see Solana continue to pump. And it's simply because people have found a use case on Solana. It's fast, it's efficient, and the builders like it. And so it's going to keep riding up. And I expect it to be one day a competitor of ETH as far as market cap. But that is
Well,
a
if that
long
were the
shot.
if that were the case, don't worry about missing the boat already because it's way below that right now, right? So
Right.
if you expect that to happen close to this bull run, well,
No.
then well, just to give our viewers an idea, Solana right now, I mean, how do I say this? It's done a lot already, so you don't want to, you want to be careful, but it's still got a ways to go, right? The market cap is 50 billion, and that sounds like a ton, right? That sounds like a lot, but if you look at each market cap at 330 billion, that's there's room there. There's room. Can it get there
Right.
this cycle? I don't know. That's asking a lot because ETH is going to continually to go up. That's
Right.
what that's my now just really quickly. I was just looking to make sure the all-time high on ETH is 4,700, and that was the year 2021 in November. So I think we see all-time high. We really could, and I was saying 4,000 before the halving. We really could see all-time ETH highs before the end of May because of the ETH ETF news cycle. So keep it here. Now, what I love, Mr. FOMO, is yesterday you saw the stock market take a hit because of the CPI numbers. Inflation was higher than expected. So interest rates aren't going to be cut right away like people were hoping in early June. And you saw the market really, the regular stock market get hit hard, but crypto market bounced right back today. So that is a great sign. If this was not a bull market, you would not have seen that, right? And so that's
Right. And that shows you the strength of the bull market and where we are in the bull market. When the bull market is in action and the rest of the markets take a hit, the bull in crypto is still going to charge forward. And so it's just evidence of what's to come in the crypto market.
one more I wanted to share with our viewers. Let's say that you just joined the show and you missed the accumulation phase in January and you're really upset. What is one token that still you're getting at a great value? I'm going to go Chainlink, and here's why. Chainlink hasn't had the run that ETH and Solana have had over the past few days. Now, it did go from 15 to 20 about a week and a half ago pretty quickly, but Chainlink, I think, has been accumulating in the 20s now for several days, and I really like this one to make a charge to 28, possibly even before March 1st, actually. So I really like this one. Remember, this is one of the ones I think is going to be a steady climber all through the bull run. And so you want to think about, for entertainment purpose only, having Chainlink in your portfolio. And these are big boys, right? And what and the reason why we talk about these is these are going to steadily go up, and it gives you a lot of options in terms of taking more gambles if you wish with other smaller plays.
And look at the strength it's built over that last week after that climb. It didn't fall directly back down. It fell a little bit, and now it's building strength there. And so I could see springboarding again just because of the strength it's building and the support it's building at that level. And so this is definitely one that you want to have your hands on, because a lot of projects have to use Chainlink as an oracle. And so it's going to, again, just like Solana, there's going to be use cases for it. And so it's going to have to get bought up. It's going to have to be used. And as the bull market runs and they need it more and more, and people need it more and more, it's, you know, it's going to continue to pump.
Well, guys, I want you to stay here because here's the thing.
Well, don't
Before,
leave yet, because I still have to share the
oh
class
yeah,
action.
quickly, go for it.
Okay, so we've got the Moskowitz law firm, and I've been looking around, but none of the articles mention the law firm that is taking on the case um, against the NBA, Mark Cuban. But this is the Moskowitz law firm. It reminded me of that old movie, The American Tale, the Moskowitz family. But you've got this website right here, and it's scrolling down at the bottom of the screen now. It's also in the description below. So if you want to check and see if you are eligible to join the third-party lawsuit, this is the website that you want to go to. It's got a little information drop right here. They will get back to you, is what they say. But they've also got phone numbers you can reach. There's emails. All that stuff will end up in the description. But there's a bunch of different contact information that you have here for the Moskowitz group. And they seem to be the ones taking on the NBA and Mark Cuban. And so if you want to be a part of that, you can put your information in and check to see if you qualify.
Yeah, and before we leave, what I was going to say is there are now calls for Bitcoin to hit 75K before June. Option calls that people are picking up. And some people, I don't know if I'm with this all the way, are calling for 60K Bitcoin by March 1st. We'll see. I don't think it's out of play, MrFOMO. So you want to keep it right here because the alts are just starting. We have just, like you talked about last show, this is only the beginning of a huge run over the next 12 to 15 months. So keep it locked and loaded. Please share our show. Help us hit 2,000 subs. We really appreciate it. Super chats are always open. Guys, you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later.
See ya.